I'm going to talk to about the subsidies of economy. The type of subsidies of economy. Family allowance, some of money paid money to workers on medium and low income. Who has the right? They receive a monthly remuneration not exceeding 4 times the minimum living wage. Has worked a minimum of the 96 hours during the respective month. Has depend the who's qualified for this benefit. Attach the respective document according to the civil status of the worker, and family income should not exceed to establish amount. Who receive it? Parents over the 60 who do not receive income, person of salary or who are financial depending on the company or with the law. The children, the worker who do not need exceed the age of the 18, legitimate or adopted, and other society is a housing society. It is an economic research which is grading onset of the beneficiaries, natural person, adult who has to no housing, except for improvements and has a home. Thus, how has not been beneficiary of housing or the territorial credit institute or no beneficiary of the family society or housing grading for by other public entities. Those who compete with the three registries create the national government of the United System or the family society or housing to related to the family and the housing projects. The solution of the housing or project to be of improvement or the affiliate must present either of the following situation: lack of the secondary networks and home connection of the aqueduct and sewer, and lack of bathroom, kitchen floors. Other societies is a special allowance, is a society to acquire high cost medication or biomedical technology elements. Who can they access? You can process this society. The person in a stage of social vulnerability caused by economic, social, and health problems, acute or chronic, as well as a special situation duly verified, are representative of the patient who must have the corresponding authority, which will be verified by personnel of the ministry. The agent may not have more than 2 proceeding operate. Is the holder of the right is a person under of the age of the 60, the managers must do it with the assistance to their parents. Other society is the gas, the right to price or imported natural gas for use in the motor vehicle for resident or commercial, used to made for the industrial market, or whether compressed or liquid will be established according to the price fabric of the main. Education society is a given annually as an is it to the requirements of the school supplies that they need the children or the right workers. They are need to receive to the children and to affirm the workers who are receiving to the family allowance in money or whose age range from the 6 and to 15 years. Other society is the economic development bond. It's a monetary allowance of $30 per month that is delivered per family, and this incentive is a form for those who qualify as very poor. Unemployment benefit is a support established by the national government granted by the family compensation funds for a single time of life to the people who has the lost their job and who meet the certain conditions. And other subsidies, for example, is the electrical and drinking water and transportation subsidy. The advantage and disadvantage of society is the advantage is favoring a greater number of consumers, and that the external increase do not affect the consumers of scarce resource. The price of society's products are stabilized and supply on a demand remain unchanged and encourage the production of a specific lower cost, such as the agricultural sectors. And the advantage is the free competition is not allowed, and the government allows the income and increase the expenditures, and it's a debt that we're all paying, and it's creating a stagnation in the development of the country in there where the society is a crack.
I'm going to talk about rules for visitors entering Ecuadorian territory. The website of the National Customs Service of Ecuador considers as personal effects accompanying the traveler, provided that by their quantity or value are not commercial. Airway. Personal traveler clothing, toiletries, maximum 300 milliliters of perfume, or 600 milliliters per family group, jewelry, processed, well-sealed or vacuum-packed food, kitchen utensils that do not have to be transported by a person, 3 liters of alcoholic beverages, 2 packets of 20 cigarettes, 1 pound of tobacco, and 25 units of cigarettes. Goods for professional use, tools and portable equipment for the performance of functions or activities of the traveler, medication for personal use with their respective medical prescription, camping equipment, suitcases, bags, or other items that carry your luggage, 2 musical instruments, 6 digital memories for cameras, computers, or mobile devices for cell phones, maximum 2 pets, portable instruments used for gardening, 1 unit of the following portable items: cameras, video cameras, electronic agenda, or personal computer and tablet, global positional service GPS, laptop or its peripherals, mouse, headset, camera, console for video games, portable or not, TV up to 32 inches, and peripherals, mouse, handset, camera, binoculars, projector and display equipment, monitor up to 24 inches, printer whose value does not exceed 300, telephone, and a fax not exceeding $500. About cell phones, a new entry can only be activated in the arrivals for its definitive use in the country, and those that have been activated before entering the country must continue to operate under the international roaming mode. Overland, personal clothing, jewelry, personal adornment, processed food, goods for professional use, tools, and equipment necessary for the performance of the tasks of the travel or work activities, maximum 2 pets, video, music, or data storage units, camping equipment, medication for personal use, 2 musical instruments, sporting goods and accessories for 1 person, toys and accessories, maximum 3 packs of cigarettes, 1 unit of camera, cam recorder, cell phones, tablets, non-electric cooking utensils, and 3 electric and portable cooking appliances. The customs registration form is the form prepared by the customs administration and delivered by the airlines during the flight, in which the travel details that taxable goods that are part of the luggage. All elderly passengers entering the rooms of international arrival of passengers must correctly fill out the custom registration form. The delivery of the documents is personal and nobody can deliver in the name of a third party. In the event that a family group arrives, the head of the family must fill out the form for the whole group in an indivisible manner for the purpose of determining the tax asset. The fractionating of a family group will be sanctioned as a lack of regulation, and it will not be possible to carry out the dispatch of the baggage until such regulatory failure is paid. If they are in the capacity of more units than indicated, they will be considered as taxable assets. The family group may enter a new unit and one used by each of its members. It is considered as personal effects as set, kit, etc., understood as a whole. Goods entered as personal effects may not be marketed. Acceptance of personal effects of the traveler as general cargo is accepted within by 20 calendar days. Anyone over the age of 18 must complete the custom registration form, although if a family group above is recommended that the head of the family be the one who fills out the form. About money, on departure from Ecuador by air or land, the tax on the exit of origin currency must be declared and paid for cash in excess of quantity of money. You can only carry an amount of $10,000, and it depends a lot on the destination country. Any traveler who enters goods at the country land borders subject to the payment of taxes whose value is less than or equal to $2,000 must submit the simplified customs declaration and attach the document services by customs. If the value of goods subject to the payment of taxes exceed the $2,000 must be registered as imported. The service of custom agenda authorized by the Custom of Ecuador. Obtain the import permits and licenses.
The productive matrix and the international commerce. The current model of production matrix has characterized the economy of Ecuador, the country into a supplier of raw materials in the international market and in turn of an importer of goods and services. But significant change in the international price begin out of balance in the country. The present government, the beginning of the activities proposed change in the current production model, which consists in changing the pattern of specialization and production in the economy, allowing the Ecuador to generate more production and add value to his production. Under the framework of building society knowledge by and implementing strategies to achieve in Ecuador good living. The current model of production matrix has a hub, inclusive and resource-based approach for which the current government is proposing a change at democratic, inclusive and based on the knowledge model and the capabilities of Ecuadorians. In the productive matrix, the sense of the economy and social reality of the countries is established for Ecuador. The transformation becomes the primary action that will solve the unemployment and poverty and inequality. In 2012, the 44% of international production is made up of primary industry and low value add to service, while the other 56% is made up of high value add to service, and the other in hand of exports are made up of primary good service, followed by the industries good with a 21% and only a 7% in service. The change in the productive matrix must be based in the impulse of the strategy sectors in the redefinition of composition of the supplies of goods and service, oriented towards the the diversification of production based in the incorporation of add value. The boost to exports and in the expansion in products are destination import substitution in inclusion of actors. The decentralization of the production of the current policy towards the territories and the continuous environment of productivity and competitive across all sectors of the economy. The strategy of the president is changed the matrix in August of 2012. The goals are diversity of production, generate add value, make selective substitution of imports, and change exports. The president point out of the economy surfers are structural conflict by giving the production elasticity, which is when to the goods. The produce is generate imports of raw materials, for example, and the more is produced to import. And if the structural error is not correct, he will have an external balance problems. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that the change of course, because of the productive of the Ecuador shows that the raw materials is the 21% and services just the 8%, and the industrial production is at 12%, explained by the coordinating in the Minister of Production, Santiago León. Today, Ecuador is expanding an increase of productivity, and it's the historical moment of the change of our productivity in the matrix. We have an economic growth, unemployment reduction, and the constant increase of labor productivity is even higher than the Latin American average, similar to the Korean case. Now, we're going to talk about some policies that we conclude. To promote, number one, to promote economic activities that can generate and conserve dignified jobs and contribute to achieving the full employment with the priority of historical concurring groups. Number two, to promote work for young people under the dignified, implementing conditions that they enhance their capacities and knowledge. Number three, to depend access of dignified working conditions, progressively reduce informal work, and generate enforcement of right workers. Number four, to establish and generate sustainability of self-supplies and subsistence activity, as well as human care activities with a right base of gender approach. Number five, to strengthen occupational education and training in coordination with the world of work and increase the productivity. Now, the goals of these policies are number one, to achieve the 55% of the economical productivity population with the full employment. Number two, to reduce the underemployment in the EAP to 40%. To reduce the informal work to 42%, and to eradicate the child labor from kids of 5 years to 14 years. Number six, to achieve the 2.1% of workers trained. And number seven, to increase the EAP affiliate to social security and marketing contributions to the 60%, and for rural employment to 50%. And finally, to increase by 10 points the percentage of households who can afford the basic basket.
Thank you.